Hello, everybody. This is Diabetes Friendly Cooking Demo, and we come at you every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. We are excited today because it's chilly, and we have a guest with us today, Dr. Shannon Stevenson. And she's a special doctor, and this is why. One day I was walking down the hall, and she flagged me down. And what I learned from you was that you're one of those physicians that takes time in the office visit to talk about nutrition
Absolutely.
with your patients and where they are and what their journey might look like. And then she shared with me this program that she's put together that has, I'm not going to say it very well, a bunch of recipes that look absolutely delicious and tried and true. You're a mother, so you're cooking for young children, so it's got to taste good. But tell us a little bit about how you decided to start talking about nutrition in these 20-minute, 30-minute visits.
Yeah, I ended up meeting a physician board certified in lifestyle medicine back in 2019. And so that drew my interest. I had already watched Forks Over Knives and things like that when it came out in the mid 2010s. So I had some interest in that, but didn't realize a way to bring that into my medical career other than, just talking about it here and there, but not really having that backing. And so from there, I ended up studying and sitting for the lifestyle medicine board, and that board and that college really supports a predominantly whole foods, plant-based diet.
Yes.
And so not only was I learning that to teach patients, but I was really learning that to teach myself because I was not eating that way before 2019. And so I've spent a lot of time what we're talking about 4 years almost now, since that started, of learning how to cook this way and finding recipes that taste good and finding recipes that my kids, who are only 5 and 7, will eat. My daughter's almost 7. She turned 7 next month. Yeah, my son just had his birthday yesterday. So,
aww, happy birthday.
Yes, he's wore a tie to school today because now he's 5. So it's
got to celebrate.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're walking the walk and you're talking the talk, and we don't always see that. And so when we do, we want to invite that into this community. Today, you've got a recipe that's tried and true for you that your kids love, and it's perfect for this time of year. It's plant-based chili. So tell us what we've got going on here.
So, essentially this recipe includes a lot of my favorite foods and vegetables. So peppers, celery, especially when it comes to chili. I like that bulk and that crunch in it. We have onions, garlic, and then it uses fire roasted peppers, which I think adds a lot of flavor.
Yeah, you said that was really an important piece.
Yes, I have tried to make this without the fire roasted peppers, and it does not taste as good. And then different beans. These are the ones in the recipe, which is your pinto and black beans. However, I have used white beans, navy beans, same thing, or white kidney beans are known by so many names. I've used dark kidney beans. So really the beans can be interchanged anyway, and I have not found that the flavor changes that much. So you could just pick beans that you like or that you have at home that day.
And I think that's so good to know. You pick the beans that you like. I think anybody who knows me well knows that I'm not a huge fan of beans, but I love a garbanzo bean, and I love like a really creamy northern bean. So
I've definitely made this with northern beans before, and it tasted quite good.
All right, I'm so excited to try this. This really exemplifies what we talk about in this demo, which is plants, fiber, things that don't raise blood sugar, keeping a stable blood sugar. So the only thing that we have here as I look is the sweet potato is going to raise blood sugar a little bit. The beans will raise blood sugar a little bit. And then some of our toppings that we have, like the tortilla strips might. But all of this together, the fiber is so great that I'm not so sure that you're going to see any kind of a quick rise in blood sugar. I think it's going to be pretty stable for you.
Well, an interesting story. So I actually had a type 1 diabetic who worked with me, and we did 2 weeks of 100% plant-based eating together. And he's on a pump, and he has a Dexcom, right? So he's getting constant readouts on his blood sugar.
So just for translation, on an insulin pump, which delivers the insulin, and on a Dexcom, which is a brand of continuous glucose monitor. So doesn't always have to prick his finger to know what his blood sugar is.
Yeah, and his blood sugar actually dropped and his insulin need dropped, even though we were eating sweet potatoes, grains, quinoa, rice, all these things, even pastas. It was whole wheat pasta. So even things that he normally avoids. And his carb intake was incredibly high for him compared to what he usually does following a traditional diabetic diet. and he was able to eat larger volumes and all of that. And
Okay.
his insulin need actually dropped. So
I mean,
this
this is
really fascinating.
good
for
news
me.
for
Yeah.
a volume eater out
Yeah,
there.
right.
So if you bulk up with those fibrous foods,
Yeah.
then maybe you can get more quantity. So
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and tell us how you do this at home?
Yeah, so at home, I generally, the first 3 ingredients that are going to go into the pan are going to be our peppers, onions, and the celery. So I do all of that at once. I usually throw it in a bowl once it's all ready when I'm by myself, but I will handing it to you as it's ready.
Yeah, go ahead. And are we using oil today?
We will use oil today.
Okay.
So sometimes I do any recipe you can change to an oil-free recipe, particularly if you're following a heart-healthy diet or you need to reduce your cholesterol. To do that, you would just use water as needed to keep the food from sticking to the pan. So I do that a lot. I use a recipe planner that intends for there to be no oil. So I've practiced quite a bit with the Forks Over Knives planner.
And so we're not doing that today because we've got this stainless steel pan.
Correct.
And it looks brand new.
Mike,
is this brand new?
Steel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I think this is
I'll practice with stainless steel
here.
sometime using water, but that's okay. I think it's fine. This recipe, if we were to share the link to it, it does call for oil.
Okay.
But anytime you want, what I do is just have a little, like a measuring cup with water. I actually have one of my oil containers is filled with water at my house, but if you're just doing it here and there, and you just put a tablespoon or so of water in just to keep it from sticking. And you have to reapply.
Dr. Stevenson, you're cracking me up with that knife.
Yeah. At least I'm not waving it at you.
Okay, you chop. We're going to get this pan heated up here. And once it's heated, I'm going to pour the oil in.
One thing I did mention earlier before we got on the video is that I cook for children. So I have a habit of chopping things very small because kids tend to like that. So you're going to see that I tend to micro dice most things, but at home, if you like onions or want bigger pieces.
Right. And these little guys will just disappear into the chili.
Yes.
Which is fine. It adds a lot of flavor still. All right. I'm going to add the oil to the pan. And I didn't mention, and I really should have, Chef Mike is here. Cameron Stauffer is here. Cam is running our audio, visual, and our chat. And Mike said, you guys got this. So I'm taking the day off.
Yes.
Which is nice. But if you have any culinary questions, put them into the chat. Mike's here, and he is supporting us. He got us all set up with all of this.
We do have a question for Dr. Stevenson about your Forks Over Knives planner.
Yes.
If you could talk more about that.
Yeah, so there's 2 things that you'll find if you search for Forks Over Knives as a meal plan or recipe. One is the Forks Over Knives app. That is just an app full of recipes. It's not actually a meal planner. Additional to that, there is now a new app called the Forks Meal Planner. And with that, I create menus.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
You've gotta tell them what you're doing. Sorry to interrupt. We'll get back to the chat.
Over my 3 to 4 years of eating plant-based, I have noticed that removing the rib of my peppers, the food tastes better, and I don't know why. And totally, this could be a texture thing with me because I've always had texture stuff with food and clothes since I was a kid. But I feel like it tastes better. I'm able to chop it the way that I like.
Gotcha.
I probably have a little OCD as well, so
that's okay.
take that
but
as
look
it
at
will.
this one. This one is like she was prepping earlier, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So that's
I feel like you could probably make some beautiful like table centerpiece with that.
Maybe you're a placeholder, name holder.
But back to the Forks Meal Planner. So it's a really neat app. There is a subscription fee. I've been on it for 4 years, so my subscription fee is only about $90 a year. However, I don't know what the current cost is, but regardless, they do try to make it very accessible. There's a 2-week free trial if anybody wanted to try it. But what it allows me to do is I can create an entire menu for a week. I can change the servings for each menu item. I can change the day of the week that it's showing to be cooked or eaten on. I can set it as leftovers if I want to eat it more than one day that week. And once I'm done with that, I can click the bottom and it gives me an entire grocery list that I can either print out or use on my phone.
I love that part.
And actually, they just started a new thing maybe in the last year where from that grocery list, you indicate what you already have at home by checking the boxes. And this is ready.
Okay.
I'll give you the celery.
We're going to go ahead and start.
But once you do that, you can just click one button and it creates an Amazon Fresh order for you. Then you can just edit it and hit buy. So they've really tried to make it easy and fun to eat totally plant-based. Another thing about that planner is all of their food is oil-free and low salt. So very good for people who also have heart disease or other considerations, and really good for anybody in life, but certainly if it's something we need to be watching.
And I think we could talk a little bit about, I mean, I think everybody understands that a plant-based diet is healthy, but why is it healthy? Why do we want to eat more plants?
Well, you hit on some of that in the beginning, in the sense of the fiber that's in plants naturally. It helps to cut down on that glycemic load, or what your what your blood sugar does after you've eaten food, in the sense of how high does it get. So those foods that are low in fiber or heavily processed tend to spike blood sugar quite a bit, and then it tends to drop precipitously or very fast also. Whereas higher fiber foods are going to maintain a lower blood sugar over a more consistent period of time. So you tend to not have those big spikes. Food also, or these plant-based foods, naturally have probiotics, prebiotics in them, because that's how they grow, right? They're living as well. So just like us, they need that beneficial bacteria. So we get to benefit from that also by eating them.
Okay.
And I just love how it tastes. Honestly, I've gotten to a point where I don't like food that doesn't have a lot of vegetables in it.
That's a great way to get. Yes.
But it was not that way initially. I'm going to say that this has been a journey for me, and still is. I still have those, I want to call them my American childhood cravings of Oreos or macaroni and cheese, or these things that I know at their base are not healthy for me, and in that sense, or they're not bringing me longevity by eating them necessarily. But I have allowed myself to enjoy those things. I just do it less often and in smaller amounts, and my kids get to see that too.
Here. So we've got our mirepoix in this pan, which is green and red peppers, onion, and celery. And it smells so good. Cam, do we see this? Yeah, we can see it. Good. Cam's working on some new equipment here. So we'd love to see in the chat if you notice any difference, if you like it. And then what are we going to add to this? The garlic?
We will add the garlic and all of the spices, which include a smoked paprika. Again, one of those really essential spices for this, like as the fire roasted tomato.
Okay.
Without it, it's not going to be the same flavor. But again, the nice thing about chili is you can literally do anything you want with a chili recipe. So
make it your own.
If you don't like smoked paprika, then try regular, or just try more chili powder.
I always like it when somebody who is making a recipe for us says, these are the 2 ingredients that make it what it is for me. So try it that way.
Right.
And there were actually 3 ingredients that you said. One was smoked paprika. Mm-hmm. One was beer.
Yes.
And the third one, you just said it, and the fire roasted
peppers.
So those tomatoes, 3 things. And Mike has been nice enough to bring us our choice of beer.
Yes.
We've got a couple.
I think it'd be fun to do a mix like you had mentioned before.
Yeah, we'll do half and half. Oh, Cam brought the beer. Now we know. Thank you, Cam. Sounds good. You mean the medical center didn't just have beer in the storeroom? Okay, we ready for the garlic?
Good, yeah.
I love when the garlic goes in. It smells so delicious. Now, as you know, you want to sweat the veggies and then put your garlic in because garlic can burn.
Yes.
And once garlic burns, you're going to have that taste through the whole thing. Yeah. So we'll do that. And then if you'd like to add the spices that you want. Yeah. And tell us a little bit about how long you like to saute this, because we're in a 20-minute situation. We're talking a lot. Mike has already prepared a batch, so we have it done. But I want you to tell us how to do it so it tastes the best.
Yeah, so I tend to do it until the onions that you can see, they're very small, as I already said, so it might be hard to see on the video, but I do it until they're completely translucent. Part of that is a personal preference of mine. Raw onions actually give me headaches, so I've learned over time that I have to cook them very well, and that's been a way that I still get to enjoy the flavor but not have that side effect. And then I like for the celery to start to, and you can already see it starting to do that now, where it's not quite as bright green. But the peppers, on the other hand, will do the opposite. They will actually get brighter as they cook. So that's kind of what I look for. The celery and the onions to sort of blanch out or lose their color a little, and then the peppers to get nice and bright.
All right. So. And then at that point, you add
this is our cumin. I just throw them all in at the same time, but I'm doing it one at a time so you can see everything. This is the smoked paprika here.
That's one of my favorites too.
Yes, and then pepper. I'm gonna do just half the pepper for now. We can
Okay.
always taste and add later. And that was oregano, and this last is our chili powder.
Lots of nice spices. It smells good.
And I actually add salt right before I put the beer in.
Okay, that's a good idea. That'll
I'm gonna
help
wash
bring
my
out
glove
the.
off first.
I'll put some salt in if that's okay.
Yeah.
This will help those veggies let off some of their water, and the pan's getting kind of dry. So that salt will help that. I could also turn it down a little bit. Oh man, does that smell good? Do you guys think it smells good?
Yeah.
We've got a room full of interns. What did you say? I can, yeah.
You can tell the spices. I can tell when you put the spices in. You can tell it immediately.
Yes.
Can
And
everybody
everybody
hear
who
Chef Mike
walks
when
in
he
my
talks?
house, if I've been cooking this, the first thing they say is, "It smells so good in here."
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm always happy to share. I usually make a double batch of this and save several servings. Again, since I cook for kids, I'm in this micro dice situation, but you can always make things larger.
So I think that I don't want the spices to burn, and even though I turned the heat down, I'm going to add a little bit of the.
Yeah, we can just
Stock
we can
here.
put the beer in now. Actually.
Oh, you want to put the beer in? Okay.
Is this? I don't think these are twist off.
Oh, we can do that pop top.
Or if somebody's stronger than me, maybe. We'll do this.
You could just, right?
Yeah, that's right. With my teeth.
All right.
I
So
have
that
one
got
on
up all
my-
those nice bits.
I do have one on my keychain, I believe.
Okay.
But if we get
And then
there,
after
we
this,
can
you
just
add
use-
the sweet potatoes.
Yeah, so you let when we have time, you let that reduce about half. So whatever volume you put in,
Okay.
you cook it so that it simmers enough to steam, and that steam will reduce the volume. So I usually do about half. I mean, there's no right science to cooking, right? It's all about what you like and what makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And we try to talk about that in here. You know, take your recipes, add the spices that you like, do it to your preference. You have mad knife skills here, Dr. Stevenson.
Yes, I do
I mean,
this a lot.
everything is the same size, which
My
means it's
mom
going to
comments
cook
on
the
that.
same
Yes.
rate. Are you ready to put those in?
Yeah, I think we're trying to get this other. You want me to see if I have mine?
No, I don't.
Does
Okay.
it matter?
No, we could do this one. We could do all of
Okay.
this one. We just need the volume, the liquid volume.
Oh,
Yeah, because it needs to be 12 ounces. That's okay. You can put that in. It's good.
yeah. I actually, I thought you were going to put the sweet potatoes in to get them a little caramelized.
Yeah,
That's why
no,
I
I
was
always put them in once it's
Jumping
liquid.
for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the liquid, then the potatoes.
Yep.
Thank you, Chef Mike.
Thank you. A little bit more of
Sure.
both. Okay. You know, all that alcohol is going to cook out.
This
Oh,
over
yeah.
here a little.
What do you think?
That's gonna be really interesting.
What beer do you usually use?
I use the Modelo, which is what, or something. I've used Corona, whatever sort of Mexican lager style there might be. That's going to add a new flavor to it for sure.
Okay.
This is like a winter beer, a pumpernickel lager, so perfect for a cold winter night. So,
It smells really good.
It does, yeah.
All right.
So I usually let that cook for a little bit to soften up the potatoes, and then I add this, and essentially once it is warm, it's ready to eat.
Okay.
So
Does it get better over time?
you mean like after it sits in here, or after I store it like in the refrigerator?
Like after a day or two.
Yeah. I haven't noticed a big change in the taste of this one. I also don't put anything hot in it. As you notice, we didn't put like a jalapeno or another hot pepper or red
Right.
pepper flakes. If we had, I guarantee it would get warmer with time.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
But
so,
I find the taste stays pretty consistent.
okay. You suggested to us that maybe we have a nice throw together salad. So whatever
Yes.
you have in your fridge is what you should put together to have on the side of this. And we've got some salad over here.
Yeah,
And you mentioned making vinaigrette at home.
I do. Yes.
So Mike put out lime and oil and maple syrup and salt and pepper.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I'll often use. Sometimes I'll use rice vinegar instead of oil, again, if I'm trying to cook in that more oil-free. Balsamic vinegar, go light on balsamic vinegar, I've learned with
Okay.
time. Whatever the recipe says, I usually use half and then
Oh,
add
okay.
more.
Is
I may
that
be more
because of your
sensitive to it.
preference?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Good.
I
Good
may be
things
more
to know.
sensitive to it. I actually brought my own salad dressing shaker.
I know. I
But
thought
you
she was
could
pulling out
very
a baby
well-
bottle when
Yeah.
she got here.
You could very well use a mason jar with a lid or just whisk it in a bowl. All of that is also fine. I also make a lot of peanut dressings because that's really common in plant-based eating. It's
Okay.
a way to get oil into a dressing without having to
Yeah.
put separated oil in there.
So a good fat.
Yes, yep. And a lot of that's lime, maple, peanuts, and a little bit of vinegar.
Yeah. Show us what you do.
So I always soften my limes just because it's easier to squeeze the juice out.
Right.
I have found over time that one lime is about a tablespoon.
Yeah. When it's juicy,
Mm-hmm.
that's juicy.
Yeah.
It's a good lime.
And rolling it ahead of time I found really does help. I also have a lime squeezer at home, so I tend to do that.
What'd you say?
Oh,
Chef
we
Mike
got a
says to
little-
microwave it. And
yeah.
how long do you microwave it?
30 seconds.
30 seconds on high? Have you ever exploded one?
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be my first thought.
That would be fun. Okay, if anybody does that at home and it explodes, I want the timing on that.
Yes, right. How long did it take?
So do you use lime juice sometimes at home?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I pretty much have limes and lemons at my house all the time.
All the time. Great.
The hummus that I make uses lemon juice instead of oil, things like that. So
Okay.
I'll always have them around. Plus, my daughter likes to just eat lime, so sometimes I'll just give her a slice and she'll walk around with it in her mouth.
Nice.
Like, you know, do I have a spoon maybe, or should I just pour out of here?
Oh, you can just pour.
Okay.
I don't think we need all that.
No, we definitely don't. This is honey. I often will use agave, honey, maple syrup, anything like that to make it a little sweet.
Yeah, perfect.
And then we've got oil here. This is a canola oil.
And you just eyeball it.
I do.
What are
It's
you
about,
looking for?
It's about 1 part, I should say 2 parts lime juice, 1 part oil, 1 part sweet. And then
Okay.
I always just try it from there. Salt and pepper I always put. Sometimes I'll use garlic as well.
Like garlic powder or fresh garlic?
I use fresh garlic,
Mhm.
but you very well could use powder if you had enough liquid. The problem with garlic powder is it can clump or make it more chunky.
Okay.
And this is just a commercial shaker. It's designed to make salad dressing. So
Yeah, that you can get in like Kroger or something.
Kroger has it. I think I got this one at the Container
Amazon.
Store, which is a place that I should never go because I spend way too much money there. But
Too
this
much
is not
time and money.
expensive. I think this was like $8 or something. And I
And
use it all the time.
Do you think that's going to dress that bowl of greens?
Oh, yeah. For
Okay.
sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can try.
Yeah,
I
let's
can.
do
The
it.
nice thing about making your own dressing is you can always just make more as long as you have the ingredients. So,
Yeah. So
a lot of
fire
times I
away.
will try it. I won't necessarily do it on the video, but if I were going to try it, since I'm sharing this with other people, I just pour some onto my finger.
you want a spoon? We can do that.
Yeah, and then just try it.
How do you
That's
feel?
delicious.
Is it good?
Yeah, one of
Okay.
the other things that I found too is I recently was introduced to taking a. You can probably put the beans and the tomatoes
Okay.
and all of that in, and then we're pretty much ready to go.
Ready to go.
Oh, thank you. But I started doing veggie burgers where I'll just make them as if they're going to go onto a burger bun. But I just put them over a salad and dress them with lime juice, and it's delicious, especially those black bean or there's more like Mexican style.
So it doesn't even
Spanish style.
have to be this it's just
Nope.
easy. Squeeze the lime directly on what you've
Mhm.
got. Sprinkle the oil. We're all in a hurry.
Yeah, that's a great just kind of go-to nighttime meal.
Look at this.
Where I don't really have to think hard about it. Sometimes I just put it on greens and don't put anything else in the salad because the greens themselves are really healthy for you and have lots of really good nutrients, iron, and all sorts of things.
I
So,
love
this
how you just
dress this whole salad.
I love how you eyeballed it and you nailed it.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
I've made a lot of salads and salad dressings. Again, just this journey. The more I do things, and then the stock goes in as well right now.
Yeah. Chef Mike, can you come here for a moment, please? Because the stove is saying hot. Yeah, can you just...
Yeah.
I love how everybody away from the stove and the butane is
Yes,
saying, I'm okay.
it's
You're
okay.
okay. It's
Everything's
fine.
okay.
That beeping, don't worry about it. Okay. And then you're adding some stock.
And this is vegetable stock. So the other nice thing that I found about cooking this way, I have some family members who have celiac disease. I have a family member who actually got that very strange tick-borne allergy to meat.
Okay.
And so whenever I travel with them, I had another that's avoiding dairy right now because she has an eosinophilic esophagitis or a condition of her esophagus. So it was great because everything that I already cook fits all of their needs because this doesn't have gluten, it doesn't have dairy.
I think
and
everybody's
no meat,
worried
so-
about that. You know, when somebody has a condition, how do we cook for them?
Yes.
So Mike has made this, like we said, this chili, and we're going to pour it in a bowl so everyone can see. And then there's some toppings there. What do you usually put on top of your chili?
I usually just do avocado. That's kind of my preference, but
Okay.
anything is delicious on this chili. We also have a crumbled Mexican cheese here as well.
Okay.
And then the tortilla strips, if you like. My kids really like those, so that's where they came into this recipe.
All right.
But I almost always just do avocado on mine, and it gives it a
There's
nice
some
little flavor.
avocado.
And then you actually do squirt, they recommend anyway, especially if you like lime juice, to actually put some lime juice in the chili itself.
Oh yeah, finishing it off with some lime. Scattered that on there. Look how beautiful that is. The contrast of the white cheese, the bright green avocado, a little sprinkling of tortilla strips, which isn't really going to mess with your carb content, but give it a nice texture.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
And then I usually just
go right ahead.
I usually just squeeze about a quarter of a slice of lime. And again,
Sounds
you can
good.
add or just detract as much as you like. That's my
Okay.
daughter's favorite part, is all the dressing and whatnot. And I think I was telling you before we got on video, but my daughter doesn't like tomatoes, but she loves this recipe. And she pulled out a tomato once and was like, "What is this? It's so good." And I was just like, "Oh, take another bite." Because I thought if I told her it was a tomato before she ate it, she might refuse to eat it. But she ate it. I told her it was a tomato, and she was just like, "Oh, that's so good." So I was very proud of her.
Isn't it interesting when you present it in a different way?
Yes.
Don't make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
And then we can top this with some cilantro. If you love cilantro, then you can chop some of that out, put it there.
Yeah.
I think if I were serving this to guests, I might put that just like this, the lime on the side, so that they can adjust as they want to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with us one of your really healthy, delicious recipes.
Yeah, this was great.
I think
I really
everybody
enjoyed
here
this.
is so excited about trying it. And we definitely want to make sure that we've gotten to the chat. If there are any other questions.
We have a question from Lucinda about soy-based meat products. How do they affect blood sugar?
That would be, I'm going to defer to you.
Okay,
Although
all
I have
right.
some ideas, but
Yes,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know. I don't
you
have
do.
any known things to quote.
Yeah,
So,
we are probably on the same page here. When you're talking about soy-based, you know, these are the soybean. So it's a bean and there's fiber. There also might be a little bit of carbohydrates, but what you're going to see, I think, is a very stable blood sugar. There are very few soy-based protein items that are going to have enough carbohydrates that would budge that blood sugar.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about,
Okay.
blood sugar and things like that. I do tend to, since I want to support whole foods, I tend to steer people away from too much meat substitute.
Okay.
But I understand, especially in the beginning, that can be really helpful for helping people get more into plant-based eating, to kind of add in that what they're used to, or a texture that they're used to, or a taste that they're used to.
Okay.
So I'm not against it by any means, but I like for people to pull that out of their diet over time.
So let's be a little bit more specific
Yeah.
about what we're talking about. Are you talking about tofu?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So about
Tell
these,
the viewers what you mean.
these meat substitutes. So this Impossible Burger, it would be a brand example to give, but there's lots of them out there.
Okay. Like the
and like I said, I eat
Morning
veggie
Star
burgers, right? So I mean, that's technically a meat substitute. But looking for ones that are more beans and vegetables rather than just soy product that's made to look like meat.
Okay, gotcha.
So I had a patient see me recently, and she's like, "Well, I eat very healthy, you know." And so my second question to that always is, "Well, walk me through like a
what does that look
24-hour
like?
day for you." And almost everything that she mentioned was very processed. So anything that comes in a package has a nice label on it. I'm already suspicious. And then she was eating a lot of, fake meat chicken nuggets and fake meat burgers and all of that. And I was like, the only thing I hear missing is vegetables, And so once she was able to reflect on that, right, then she saw like what was missing, because in her mind, she just wanted to eat vegan.
Right.
Which she was doing successfully.
Yeah.
But vegan eating is not always healthy.
So it says a lot about how we all get in our mind what we think healthy means.
Right.
And sometimes it doesn't mean what we think it does.
Yeah.
And so if you're wondering, if what you're doing is healthy, ask your primary care physician, ask the nurse practitioner that you see. If you want to get more specific, ask to see a registered dietitian. There are many at the medical center who would love to see you.
Yes.
Any other questions?
So we're a little over time. Do you want to keep going?
We are. We're a minute over time.
Yeah.
Might as well, since if there are more questions, let's get them answered.
Yeah.
We have a question about finding their vegan recipes are very carb heavy with potatoes and carrots. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, I think to replace the potatoes and the starchy with some of the other non-starchy veggies that are in the recipe, especially if you see that your blood sugar is going up. And remember, really to know how that food has affected you. If you are checking your blood sugar, you can check 2 hours after you ate, and your blood sugar should be below 180 and real tight control under 160. So if you do have that reaction to the food, then just replacing with some of the other ingredients, I think, is a good idea. And I will say that some of the winter squash, like acorn, pumpkin, is going to be lower in carbohydrate than some of our root vegetables like potatoes.
Awesome. Okay. Another question is, does the alcohol in the beer evaporate in the cooking process, or what is the suggestion for substitution?
It does evaporate in the cooking process generally, but there may be some left, like a non-alcoholic beer level. But I have made this recipe successfully with just using vegetable stock and reducing the vegetable stock, and then just adding more when the recipe calls for it, typically at the 2 cup
Right.
amount
It's
that
all
you saw
about
us add at the
flavor,
end.
right? So
Yeah.
if you think about beer, like maybe you could add some miso to this to add that flavor. Beer is adding like an umami flavor. So maybe that, or maybe adding a splash of Worcestershire or a splash of soy sauce. Mike, you're looking at me. Do you have anything to add?
That's good. I'll get suggestions.
Okay.
I'll get suggestions.
Yeah, I thought I saw the wheels turning. What's going on over there?
It takes a little longer to cook out alcohol. It takes like 20 minutes of boiling to cook out 40% of alcohol.
Should I repeat that? Okay. It takes about 20 minutes of boiling to get rid of the alcohol. To cook out 40% of the alcohol.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so
And at home, I do cook that alcohol portion for about 15 to 20 minutes, because
Okay.
I'm reducing whatever I've put in by half. So
Okay.
here on the video, I know we were time constrained, but at home, you can cook that alcohol or reduce it as long as you like. So there's really no limitation. It's just there to add flavor and saute time.
Yeah, and I actually, I never knew that.
It takes a long time to cook out alcohol.
Okay.
And
That's
it
good
will,
to know. Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Anything else?
It won't cook out the wood.
No.
No.
Okay. So last question is, are you seeing new patients? How can people connect with you?
Oh, that's
or
a nice
find you?
I'm
question.
so happy to hear that.
Like,
I actually am stepping away from outpatient medicine at the end of this year, mainly for some family needs and schedule needs that are different. There are a few lifestyle medicine practitioners, if that's really kind of where you want to look. There's actually an American College of Lifestyle Medicine, ACLM, has a website. You can search that site for providers. There's actually a lot here in the Columbus area. I'm very surprised. There's only a few at OSU. Right now, I'm the only outpatient provider who's certified, but there's many people that are on there that aren't certified, but obviously believe in these tenets and ideas and would talk about them during visits. I think starting there would be a good place. And, from there, next time I'm outpatient, don't worry, I'll be sending out the flares because I may open a lifestyle medicine practice sometime in the next 5 years.
Awesome. And we'll make sure to pass that information along. Thank you so much for hanging in with us. This was a great conversation, a great recipe. I'm going to make this at home, and I hope you do too. And Cam and Mike and I would love to see photos. If you make it, take a photo, send it our way.
And like I said, my 6-year-old daughter likes this recipe, so I highly recommend you try it for your kids if you have some, because she really, really likes it. So I appreciate you having me. It was wonderful
Thank
to be
you for
here.
being here.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you in October.